Welcome to this edition of the Weekly Dose, Challenge Your Perspective. This is Patrick Dare in Washington, D.C. 18 years ago, as a new parent to a beautiful baby daughter, I was put in a bind on a day that this child suddenly had breathing difficulty. As a new parent, you can imagine, you don't know what to do. You're lost for thought. What you want is help, a doctor's help. And that's exactly what we did. Took the child, did not even wait for an ambulance, put the child in the car and drove frantically to the hospital, the emergency room. We got there. The doctor came and saw the child, still in that difficulty breathing, gasping for air. And we, the young parents, desperate, almost to tears. What is happening to our child? And the doctor comes and checks this child, makes a decision that maybe nothing too bad, and he goes away. Gives us little information. And as parents, we're sitting back here waiting for hours. And we're seeing there's no improvement. And I'm not seeing the doctor. For a long time, I almost became violent. I went and looked for the doctor and actually held him by his collar. What are you doing? Our child needs your help. So then the doctor comes back and he explains what's happening. He has done some tests. He has determined that it's nothing dangerous, given some quick medication, albuterol, and we start seeing the child improving slowly. Now, what we wanted as parents was assurance. The doctor knew what he was doing. But we needed assurance that everything is okay. We needed the doctor to explain to us that your child is fine. In law, there's what they refer to, justice must be done. But justice must also be seen to have been done. Dr. Willy Mutunga, what you've missed in all this, whatever's happened with the ruling, is that you were the doctor. The 6 justices were the doctor, and the millions of Kenyans were the patient or the parents waiting for this verdict patiently. And they wanted to know what was happening. Millions of Kenyans had queued, waited in long lines to vote. They were passionate on both sides who they were going to vote for. And when it came to a dispute, and the High Court, the Supreme Court, was going to be the end-it-all decision, people expected to see that justice is being done. It is my opinion, and I could be wrong, that the majority, the many millions that are very disappointed, they're probably not disappointed that you ruled the other way, that you ruled against the code and you ruled for President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. In my opinion, I think people are more disappointed in the way you went about things. Like the doctor who did not give me information, people were frustrated because for 2 weeks, they waited patiently. They waited to see what the verdict was. They wanted some information as how you're going about it. And ultimately, they wanted you to sit after you had made your decision and face them. They wanted to read how you conveyed the message. They wanted to see you face them and tell them how you came to that decision. And you did not do that. I think that is what is most disturbing to most Kenyans. That for a serious case like this, what was going to determine the future of the country, what so many people had invested in, their time, their emotion, that the 6 justices seemed almost carelessly decision. You did not portray the seriousness that people thought this case deserved. After you made your rulings, which was in 5 minutes, you told people to wait for another 2 weeks to go and read the verdict. Come on. You must not be surprised why people are disappointed. I must tell you, I've been a great admirer of you. A lot of people have been a great admirer of you in terms of justice, in terms of your stand on the rule of law. But in this case, Dr. Mutunga, you failed millions. You failed millions in the way you seem to, the whole justice seemed to have just been brushed aside. The verdict was that the court people did not have enough evidence. But on the other side, the court people say they had 900 pages of evidence. That you decided on technicalities to brush aside some of that evidence. Taking into consideration the gravity of this issue, you must understand the disappointment in people and that you're asking for them to give you justice. I think you're asking for a little too much because they expected you to be the head of justice. And it's your job to show that justice is done. In this case, you cannot convince anybody. And being that your ruling was probably guided by very strict adherence to impartiality that many people have associated you with. The 6 of you may have gone back and said there's really not enough here to decide for a rerun or for the other side. But this was not communicated to the expectation of the people. You did not face them. People see cowardice in that. People see, and Kenya being what it is, the historic Kenya, where the powers to be do not explain things. You know, commissions after commissions have been formed for the Golden Bank, all these commissions, and nothing comes out. Nobody comes and faces the country and says, these are the culprits, and this is what justice is going to show to have been done. You fell in that category of people not trusting, especially when you didn't show your face, for people to read your emotion, for people to read your demeanor, to explain how you came up to that verdict. I'm hoping that next time, for whatever it's worth, you'll correct this. If the issue of the assistant CJ having been accused of attacking a security guard was taken very seriously and debated for a long time, people cannot understand why this very important occasion, very historic occasion in Kenya, did not seem to have been given the same seriousness of thought. And Dr. Willy Mutunga, I think many people still believe in you. You can still redeem yourself. Not that you rule for the expectation of the people. Yes, the Kenyans still expect you to have rulings based on law. But Kenyans expect to see that justice has been done. I'm hoping going forward, that will be something the 6 justices will take into consideration. And when you ask for justice, please give Kenyans justice and let them know that justice has been done. This is Patrick Dare, bringing you your weekly dose. Challenge your perspective. May God bless Kenya.